Alright, so, Friday, the wedding day. Whew. It did not start out great for me. I'm not gonna lie. I woke up, I have anxiety, and so I woke up not like anxious per se. I just like had kind of like the sick knot feeling in my stomach, and then I started being really worried that I was, not gonna feel good for my wedding, which I think made me feel worse and made me more, anxious and nervous and just worried. And yeah, I felt hungover. And I mean, obviously I hadn't been drinking at the rehearsal dinner because I was very conscious about not wanting to be hungover for my wedding day. And so yeah, I felt absolutely horrible the morning of my wedding. I could barely like move around, I could barely eat. Melissa was trying so hard to kind of like get me to feel better, and she was absolutely amazing. She was kind of running around and doing stuff while I couldn't, to kind of let me just wake up a little bit and to just try and feel better. And yeah, so that's kind of how my wedding morning went. It was not fun. I was able to kind of sit on the couch. Like I said, I still had to copy my vows into my vow book, and so I did that, which was a nice, quiet, just need to sit there and write activity. Although, I'm going to be honest, I could barely do that. I felt like such, I did not feel great. So yeah, during the morning, Melissa was originally going to drop Dakota off with our friend Becca, who she was one of our bridesmaids, and Dakota was staying with Becca's dog Fizzgig during the day. So yeah, Melissa was going to drop Dakota off at Becca's, but we ended up realizing that we wouldn't really have enough time for that, and so we asked Becca to come get Dakota. So she kind of popped by mid-morning at some point and got Dakota and all of her stuff and took her back to her place. And knowing that Dakota was like with someone that she knew and loved, and with, Fizzgig, who she again, knew, and they're friends because they don't really bother each other kind of, thing. And it was such a peace of mind again that I didn't have to worry about Dakota, because I'm not gonna lie, I am a total overprotective doggy parent, and if she was with anyone else, I would have been worrying about that all day long, and it would have just been in the back of my mind, like worrying and wondering if she's okay, and just knowing that she was okay and somewhere that she knew and felt comfortable. It was everything. So yeah, after that, I did start to feel a little bit better, and I kind of forced myself to start getting up and moving, because obviously we needed to get going. And so I started pulling together things to, that I needed to bring to the wedding. And so luckily, over the last, I would say at least 6 months, something like that, I've been keeping an ongoing list in my notes app in my phone of every single thing that I will need to bring, that I will need to pull together and bring on the day of the wedding, so that I forgot nothing. And so every time something crossed my mind, like, oh, I can't forget, I need to bring that on the day of the wedding, I would just pop it in that notes app. And again, with not feeling great that day, that list was a lifesaver, because I didn't have to think about a thing. I knew that everything I needed was on that list, and so I didn't have to think at all. I just could read through the list, and I kind of put a little asterisk by it as soon as I collected it into a bag or something. And yeah, I didn't forget anything. There was nothing that I was at the wedding on the day of that I was like, oh shoot, I can't believe I forgot that. I had everything. And so that is definitely, I highly recommend doing that if you're planning your own wedding, because it was so, so helpful. And even if you're not feeling, sick like I was, you are going to be very frazzled, very stressed, and very, running around feeling crazy. And even if you don't forget anything, I know myself, and I'm sure other people do this too, you would still feel like you were forgetting something, even if you weren't, if you didn't have a concrete list to refer to. So yeah, I'm very glad I did that. Yeah, while I was doing that, my maid of honor, who was driving me that day, came over, and she started to kind of help us. She steamed Melissa's shirt. She kind of helped me, again, pull things together and pack them in bags and stuff like that. I also wrapped Melissa's present, because I hadn't gotten a chance to do that yet. And yeah, that's kind of just how our morning was. We're just running around getting everything prepared. And then Melissa's groomsman, Steve, came and picked her up, and then they left. And as soon as they left, Maggie and I were able to pull my dress and veil out of the closet that they had been hiding in and shove those in her car, and then we were, good to go. And so the first thing when I got in Maggie's car, she had a little gift for me. It was so cute. She got me a little Kate Spade bangle, and then an evil eye, which is an Arab tradition of good luck on a wedding day to kind of ward off evil, or, I guess negative, she was explaining it to me, and so it was to ward off negative vibes, I guess is the best word I can come up with for it at the moment, and so I ended up putting it on my bouquet with that little something blue pearl charm that I'd showed you guys, so I was really excited about that. So, oh yeah, so Maggie actually, when she came over, had half of the wedding's alcohol with her in her car. So Melissa and Maggie had moved that alcohol into the car that Melissa and Steve were bringing to the venue so that they could unload that when they got there. And then Maggie and I took her car back to her apartment, which was on the way to the venue, and then picked up her fiance and the other half of the alcohol, and we moved things into his car, so everything that, you know, my wedding dress and all my stuff, moved that all in the car with the other half of the alcohol, and then us three drove to the venue. He dropped Maggie and I off, unloaded all the alcohol, and then he went back home until he had to come for the ceremony. So yeah, things were crazy, and we ended up running kind of late. Like, in the big scheme of things, we were only like 10 to 15 minutes late, but being 10 to 15 minutes late for like a wedding, I mean, as a bride, it feels like you're an eternity late. And so like, and I was already kind of like, you know, stressed out, and yeah, but it was so crazy. So we got there, Maggie started steaming my wedding dress. I kind of started, I don't even know what I was doing. I was kind of just running around doing random things. I still was putting finishing touches on Melissa's gift to make sure that was all ready. The hair and makeup girls were already both there, and since we had split up the mansion, Melissa got like the right wing, I got the left wing. We each had a bunch of different rooms to play with, and so hair was set up in one room, makeup was set up in another room. And I was actually, right when I got there, I was able to pull out the nice stationery that Melissa and I had gotten for our letters, because I still hadn't gotten a chance to write the physical, you know, copy of Melissa's letter. It was just on my phone. So I was able to take the stationery and my phone and sit in the room. It was with the makeup artist, but she was like, she knew what I was doing, and so she kind of, you know, was just leaving me alone. And I was able to sit there in a quiet room and kind of gather my thoughts and, you know, write a romantic letter to my, you know, fiance, soon-to-be wife. And that was honestly one of like the most relaxing parts of the day, and just kind of really centering and really, you know, it kind of let me let the stress go and get into the, you know, spirit of your wedding day and be, you know, thinking about the right, sorry, my camera overheated a little bit, I had to let it cool down. But anyways, yeah, like I was saying, it was just nice to be able to, you know, be in the right mindset for my wedding day. So after I finished writing the letter, I think that's when I went in to start my hair. And honestly, I started that too late, and that set the whole getting ready time back, and we ended up way behind for basically the whole day. Although we did kind of salvage, like, it was kind of behind in two separate chunks. So I'll try my best to explain this in an orderly fashion, although to be honest, it's true what they say, your wedding day goes by in a flash, and I don't really exactly remember the order of some things, but yeah, like I said, I'll do my best. So yeah, I got my hair done, and again, the hair person was kind of in a separate room, and so it was me and her, and then people would kind of be coming in and out through the whole time while I was getting my hair done, which was kind of nice because, again, it was pretty like relaxing, and I was kind of able to just, you know, sit and be and, you know, relax and not get too frazzled with having everyone around me, because I am an introvert, and so too much like commotion around me, it's draining. And so it was nice to kind of be for the most part by myself, but also have people come in and out, so I could also, you know, I mean, I did want to see everyone, and so it was fun. I thought that was like a perfect way to do that. And yeah, everyone kind of kept bringing me snacks, because we had a whole little like kind of snack bar set up with like grapes and pretzels and cashews, and there was champagne, and so people were drinking a little bit of champagne throughout the morning. And yeah, so while I was doing that, I had originally sent our photographer over to do Melissa's detail shots first, because I knew I was going to be late. The GPS said I was going to be a little late, and the original plan had been that my detail shots would have been first from 1 to 1:20. Obviously, I wasn't going to be getting there at 1 o'clock, and so I told her just go ahead and start with Melissa's detail shots so that we don't lose any time with the photography, you know, waiting on me, basically. So that's also kind of what got me started late with the hairs. I was waiting for the photographer to get back to basically tell me it was okay to get started, because I wasn't sure what part of the whole getting ready process she would need to be there for to photograph. So yeah, anyways, so she, you know, came back and kind of did a little bit of getting pictures of me while I was getting my hair done, I believe, and the videographer was also there, and he would, you know, come in and out and get some shots. He got some shots while I was writing Melissa's letter, which was really nice. And yeah, so anyways, after my hair, let's see. So yeah, I was getting my hair done here. I'll show you kind of. I had a Pinterest board to show the hairstylist, which I had already previously sent her, so she already knew the plan and just could jump right in. But thought it'd be kind of fun to show you guys kind of what I showed her. And then I'm not sure I have any pictures of my actual hair the day of that I can show you now, but obviously there will be professional pictures that I can show you later. Alright, so I hope you can see that, but this is kind of my bridal hair Pinterest board, and this is the couple pins that I pinned that were most closely, what I wanted my hair to be. So basically it was a, loose curls, half up, half down kind of thing with the sections that were pinned back, kind of in like an intertwined kind of, what's that word? I don't know, but you guys saw it, so you know what I was kind of going for, and I'm really happy with how my hair turned out. And yeah, the hairstylist did end up putting in my veil, but I chose to wait to put on the crown because there was a specific picture that I wanted of me holding my crown with my wedding dress on, and so obviously the crown couldn't be in my hair for that, and I wasn't in my wedding dress yet. So she kind of just showed my mom and maid of honor and anyone else who wanted to look how to put in my crown so that she could go and I could put in the crown whenever I was ready for that. So yeah, after that, I'm pretty sure I went right into makeup, although honestly, like I've said, this whole day is pretty much a blur, so it could have been a little different, but I'm pretty sure I went right to get my makeup done. And then after that, again, I'm pretty sure I went right to getting dressed because, yeah, so things, like I said, ran really, really late. And so we pretty much completely missed what was supposed to be our first look slot. And we had more time than needed planned for our first look. So at the beginning of running a little late, I wasn't too worried. I was thinking, okay, so we'll cut a little bit into the time we have for first look. That's fine. We had gobs of time for that, so it'll just be a little shorter than we thought. And then things started getting a little later and later and later, and I didn't have my phone with me the whole day. I just didn't have it. It was in my purse. I didn't even look at it. But then people stopped telling me what time it was. And that's how I knew that it was getting really late. And that's kind of when I started to worry and thinking that we were like getting way, way, way behind schedule and that we were like going to be an hour late for the ceremony. And people apparently also started showing up really, really early because I also started seeing people out the window like showing up for the ceremony, like guests. And so I'm thinking, oh my God, it's like almost the ceremony time and I don't even have my dress on yet. And just like totally freaking out. But apparently Melissa told me later that people started showing up for the ceremony at like 3. So I was thinking it was like 4 o'clock when it was really 3 o'clock. And yeah, it was just, that was really stressful. But yeah, so anyways, after my makeup, I started getting into my dress, and so my aunt and the photographer helped me kind of get into my dress, like the first stage of it, while my mom went and changed into her dress for the wedding because I wanted to get some getting ready shots with her, like buttoning up the back of the dress and, doing, those getting ready shots for the wedding. And yeah, so, it was kind of really funny though. It was kind of really like awkward, I guess, because I was putting on this giant wedding dress, which is this whole one big thing. The only thing you're really wearing under your wedding dress is underwear. And the place we chose to put my dress on was in this giant glass, like, porch room, like completely open to the outside world. I'm pretty sure we were even overlooking somewhere where there could have been or would have been people. I can't exactly remember now, but yeah, so it was just a little weird, and it was completely open up into the other room where everyone was getting their makeup done. But at that point, you're just kind of past the point of no shame, especially when you're thinking you're running like an hour late for your wedding, and so you're just kind of like, whatever, I don't care, just get me in this dress. So yeah, we got me in my dress, my mom came back, we got all the getting ready shots, we got me fully in my dress, and yeah, at some point, I didn't mention this, but obviously my photographer had been getting all the detail shots of like my stuff as well. I think while I was getting my hair and makeup done, she was doing that, so I have all those pictures to look forward to, which I'm really excited. Detail shots for weddings are like one of my favorites, and also, during the entire time that everyone was getting ready, the day of coordinator was downstairs, I mean, kicking butt. Basically, we got there and, like, nothing was set up. My parents said, like, I mean, the entire reception rooms were completely empty. And then my mom said at some point she went downstairs to kind of see if there's anything she can do to help or, just kind of check up on things. And basically, it was all done. And everything, oh my God, I love our day of coordinator. She did a phenomenal job. I don't know how she did it, but she did it, and everything was amazing. So she was doing that, and then everyone else was kind of running around getting themselves ready. My maid of honor, again, another rock star, she did like her hair, she did my other bridesmaids' hair and makeup, she did the flower girl's hair. I'm pretty sure she helped my mother-in-law do her hair. She also like steamed my dress. She helped me put together Melissa's present. She was just, I mean, she was everywhere doing everything, like being so awesome so that I didn't have to worry about it. And yeah, so that was super awesome. Besides that, we also did get like bridesmaids pictures, which I really, really wanted. So like all in our robes and with some glasses of champagne. And, yeah, so now everyone is ready pretty much. And then we were offered to basically this is what they said. We originally were going to do a first look outside, and the photographer and day of coordinator were like, look, basically we could, completely skip the first look if you want, or we could totally still fit it in. We have time to fit that in. Oh, wait, I'm forgetting something first. Well, yeah, we decided that this is so hard to keep straight. I'm sorry if this is all over the place, guys. So basically, I decided, Melissa and I really, really wanted a first look. We really wanted that kind of like private time to ourselves, kind of, just be excited about our wedding day together and get that little, connection before the wedding, the ceremony, just to be excited together. And so I really, really didn't want to give that up. So we decided to go ahead with that, but we did move it inside, but we moved it to another place in the second floor of the mansion that I really wanted to get some pictures of which we would not have gotten pictures in had we not changed the first look, because we wouldn't have had time later. So that kind of turned out to be a blessing in disguise. So, yeah, but first, before the first look, we did open our wedding presents. And so me, the photographer, and the videographer went into our own, into a room by ourselves. It was where the hair was, but by the time we were doing that, the hair woman had left already. So, I had Melissa's gift and a letter, and Melissa had given me specific instructions that I was to read the letter and to follow the instructions exactly as I read them when I read them. So, stop reading, follow the instruction, continue reading, yada yada. So basically it was this big, big, heavy box. It was, I don't know, maybe that big, something like that. So I was reading her letter, and of course it's, super romantic and just exactly what I needed, because I was feeling totally frazzled and like I was just ruining my wedding because everything was so late and I was, so stressed. But it was really nice to kind of read her letter, and at this point, obviously, we hadn't done the first look yet, so this is kind of the first, interaction that I had with my person on an extremely stressful day. And so it was really amazing. And she ended up giving me the Pottery Barn, I think the medium-sized jewelry box that I really, really wanted. The size larger than I already have. I don't think you can actually see it from here because it's... Actually, I'll bring over the actual jewelry box and I'll show you guys that way. Okay, so here is the jewelry box that she got me. Like I said, it is the Pottery Barn jewelry box, and I've mentioned this line of jewelry boxes to you guys in the vlogs before because I have been a long, long time fan of it, and I'm so in love with it. I love it so much. And it's in white, which is I don't know, I think it's perfect because, bride white, and so that just makes that connection that much more special to me. And she actually got it engraved on the inside. I hope you guys can see. Sorry if it's I don't know, it's weird in the mirror. I'm gonna try and get it so you can see that. Alright, you can kind of see it right there. She got the mirror engraved so that it's the first thing with my new initials engraved on it, and I think that's so special because I was really excited about, changing my name, and to me that's just such a, I don't know, a huge, monumental, exciting change that, from a wedding. And so, yeah, oh my gosh, I love it so much. And then, so she kind of had me unwrap it, and then she, wrote a little more, and she had me open it and, explained, the meaning or the thought behind, I guess, the engraving. And then she had me kind of explore the jewelry box, and she said that I should find something else in it, and boy did I. So unfortunately, you guys can't get the full effect, but when I opened one of the little drawers, I found this guy. And of course, it had the iconic white ribbon tied around it. Is it focusing? I can't tell. There we go, that's focused. So yeah, of course it had the iconic white ribbon tied around it, and she went to Tiffany's. Like, how freaking crazy is she? So, the whole day was just like an absolute fairy tale, and I mean, how can you not feel like a princess getting Tiffany's on your wedding day? And so I opened it up, and she got me a brand new charm bracelet. And so I'm not sure if I've ever explained this to you guys on the vlog, but for my entire life I have kept a charm bracelet because my mom kept a charm bracelet. And so every vacation that we go on or kind of milestone moment in my life, I buy a charm and I put it on my charm bracelet. And so it's pretty full by now. Obviously I've been doing this forever, since my mom has been doing it forever. And so she started, you know, like with me when I think I started my charm bracelet very early elementary school. And, but yeah, so she got me a new charm bracelet so I could start it, you know, with my new life and as a married woman. And yeah, oh my gosh, I love her so much, and it's just so sweet. So I'm really, really excited to start filling this up with all the memories from our new life together, and it was such a magical day. And so, yeah. Alright, so enough about the gift, because again, this is getting really, really long. Oh my gosh, this is going to be the longest video of all time. I'm really sorry about that, but I'm just trying to, I really want this obviously recorded for memory's sake, for myself as well, so if this is super long, I'm sorry, but I really don't want to leave anything out. So yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go put this down and then we can continue with the wedding day. Alright, so finally after opening our gift, we get to do first look, and I get to see Melissa for the first time since she left that morning. We had originally, like, thought about doing the whole, like, sleeping apart the night before, but we decided we didn't want to do that. I don't know, we like being together, and so I would have been way more stressed out not being with her, and I think she would have been too, if, you know, so we just decided to not do that. But we hadn't seen each other since the morning, which obviously, as you can tell, that was enough for us, and I was already, like, so ready to see her, and it was exactly how I wanted it to be, and it was just so perfect, and it was a really nice way to kind of have a little private moment to ourselves and just be excited that it was our wedding day together. And yeah, I really loved it, and it was kind of like painful in the beginning because the photographer had Melissa set up in another one of those glass porch rooms, facing away from the door, and then she had me, you know, walk in, and it was like 2 rooms, so I had to go walk through a room to get to the patio, but I could see out. There was like an interior window looking out onto the patio, so I could see Melissa the entire time, and she was just kind of standing there, you know, looking out of the glass window, and the photographer kind of had me stop a couple times on my walk over there to her so she could take some pictures and, you know, all that fun stuff. And then I had to stop right before walking over to tap her on the shoulder so that the photographer could basically, you know, I guess primp me and get everything, you know, all set up and, you know, floof my skirt and get the veil all looking nice and stuff like that. And I the whole time, as soon as I like rounded the corner, I was like, you know, at Melissa's back, and I could really see her, and I could just tell she was like so, I don't want to say nervous, but like just, I guess, nervous and excited, and like I could see like her legs shaking, and I knew it was just killing her having to stand there and not be able to turn around and not be able to, like, I mean, we didn't really talk, even though obviously she knew I was there, and because, you know, the photographer was talking to me, and, you know, I obviously saw her back, but yeah, so it was just this kind of funny little, like, yes, I kind of see you, and we're almost there, and we're both here, but, like, we're not really there yet, so we're not talking, and, like, yeah. But then I finally got the go-ahead to walk up and tap her on the shoulder, and she turned around, and it was just, like, I don't know, it was so just us, but neither of us could exactly remember our reactions or how we looked or reacted when we first, like, saw each other, but after that, it was just really nice. I mean, there was lots of, you know, like, kind of like excited, you know, like, oh my god, I can't believe it's here, and like, just like, this is crazy, and yeah, but it was really nice. And so after a minute or two of actually getting, you know, the video and the photo done for the first look, everyone kind of left, so it really was just us, and we kind of just, you know, had a couple minutes to, you know, decompress and kind of freak out, and I could kind of be like, oh my god, we're running so late, and she could be like, I know, it's okay. It was just, I don't know, it was really, really nice, and just to get some hugs before the ceremony and to really go into it fully relaxed. And I think that's what really helped me get, like, I wasn't stressed or anxious or anything at all during the ceremony. Like, I was fine. I wasn't shaking at all. Like, I was expecting to literally, you know, like when you get like, I don't know, I feel like whenever I had to give presentations, like in college, I would get like, you know, my legs were shaking and like my voice would like shake and crack, and like I was like, this is gonna be a disaster. It's basically like public speaking and everyone's gonna be looking at me and this is gonna be terrible. But like, okay, I'm getting way ahead of myself. Anyways, okay, so, oh my goodness. Okay, so after the first look, we had to go downstairs to line up for the ceremony, and everyone was kind of running around getting everyone together and making sure everyone was fully ready for, you know, the ceremony, because the bridesmaids were also, you know, not running late, but like Maggie had to, you know, fit in doing everyone's hair, and so she needed to make sure her makeup was done because she hadn't had a chance to really fully do her get her makeup done because she was doing other things. So everyone was running around. It was crazy. But yeah, we finally got everyone downstairs. Melissa had to help me like carry my giant skirt down because this thing was massive. I assume you guys will have seen some sort of picture or whatever by now, but yeah, she kind of like took a huge armful like from underneath because we had to walk down those huge you know, the huge staircase, main staircase of the house, and it was a big dress, and so I needed some help. But yeah, we got downstairs, we lined everyone up, and it was kind of, that was when it kind of really stopped being stressful at all and started fully being fun, because at that point it was everyone, like, it was us, it was our parents, it was our closest friends, and it was our, you know, grandparents and siblings, and everyone kind of, that was it, because everyone was just lining up for the ceremony, and so we were able to finally, like, be like, okay, that was a crazy morning, now time for the wedding, and, you know, just kind of get all our sillies out, and, you know, talk and hang out and goof around for a little bit while we were lining up, and they were getting everything, you know, actually set up for the ceremony to start. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And yeah, so we got everyone lined up, and then the day of coordinator started sending everyone out as the processional song started, and yeah, like I said, I wasn't nervous at all. Like, I was totally expecting to be, like, shaking in my boots, like, absolutely terrified, but I don't know, I wasn't. I was just, okay, this is what we're doing. And I don't know if it was just because I was so, like, it was such a crazy morning, I literally didn't have time to get myself all worked up and nervous, or what, but I wasn't. And so, yeah, walked down just fine, got handed off to Melissa, and it's absolutely true what they say. Every time I heard an article or something talking about, oh, like, you don't, you know, think about anything other than your spouse when you're walking down the aisle or when you're standing up there, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And, like, I thought my mind was going to be, like, everywhere and worrying about everything, and, like, okay, how do I look? Okay, don't fall, and, you know, everyone's here, but, like, I didn't think about anything except seeing Melissa at the end of the aisle, and I didn't even hear the song that I walked down the aisle to. Like, I was just so focused on her that everything else just kind of went away, and it was just so magical. And yeah, so I get to, you know, the front of the altar, I got handed off by my dad to Melissa, and I could barely even hear what the officiant was saying the whole time. Like, I mean, I could hear her, but again, I wasn't there. I was just focused with Melissa, and, like, we were holding hands and just kind of, like, giggling to each other across the altar, and just, I don't know, I mean, not talking to each other, but kind of, you know, like, mouthing, like, this is crazy, and oh my god, you know what I mean, and just kind of giggling. And yeah, it was really windy too, so we kept having to kind of, like, fix our hair, and, like, we were, like, you know, I kept having to, like, fix her hair for her, and she'd fix my hair for me, and so, like, I don't know, that was kind of funny, because it was really windy at one point, which was really nice too, though, because it kept it from being too hot, because that was another thing I was a little worried about. I overheat very easily, and in June, in a gigantic wedding dress, I was just a little worried that I would kind of, you know, get lightheaded and faint at the altar, which would have kind of been a disaster. But yeah, that didn't happen thanks to the wind and the trees, which provided a nice amount of shade for the entire ceremony for our guests and everything too, which was another thing I was really thankful for, because we ended up only running about 20 minutes late for the ceremony. So it was supposed to start at 4:40, and I believe it started at 5. So after all that running around, it was only 20 minutes late, which, I mean, yes, it's late, but I don't know, I feel like every wedding runs at least a little bit late, and 20 minutes really isn't that bad. And everyone was sitting, you know, outside. It was a beautiful day, thank goodness. Everyone kept saying that. Like, it was just amazing weather. It wasn't too hot. The ceremony chairs were under a nice, you know, cover of shade, and it was breezy, so no one was sitting out there boiling, waiting for the ceremony to start. Alright, so I had to let my battery cool off again, and this is getting to be an extremely long video, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to cut this into 2 parts, because I think it's going to end up being, like, at least an hour long if I keep it all one video. I'm hoping not, but I don't know, it's going to be a super long video, so yeah, I think depending on how long it might be, it'll be in 2 parts. So yeah, but you guys will already know that because it'll say part 1 or it won't. So